So good afternoon here for Gongmana 2023. The games keep rolling, we keep firing. Game number 5 of the day. On behalf of ulti.TV, I'm Daniel Clinton, and I welcome to the booth the legend himself, John Greenfield. Hello, John. How are you?
Oh, great, Dan, and really stoked to hear your news of your engagement. But the action started already, Dan. What's happening?
Well, it seems like the quitters have turned it over, and Lofnan is going to combine with Fink. Go real fast, 20 metres down the field. Get things going for this team.
It's AJ out there with the yellow hat. Good to see him still rolling around. I'm not sure if he was going for the Dingoes or the Barramundis this year.
Well, it was the Barramundis. Played in company of Michaela Dummel, who joined us on the comms earlier as well. So, small things. Off to a big start.
Dan, that was a really nice catch. There was a fair bit of pressure on that hammer, but made it look easy.
Small things. We saw them earlier today. They had a tough one. Playing against Murder on the break side. They did lose that game. But as we develop through this Swiss draw, this Swiss format.
You know the hardest thing with this Swiss format that I'm finding as a player is you look ahead at your schedule and there's one game, and so you mentally have got to live in the moment, and but it's refreshing to do something different. And Pete Gardner, of course, who is the ultimate schemer, has worked out the way to beat it, which is you lose your first game by a lot, get absolutely crushed, so you go down and then build up lots of points against weaker teams and then just get your points that way and turn up in the final.
Pete Gardner.
Yeah.
Well, I think that neither of these teams actually did that, so they've come to play. Small things did pretty well against Murder on the break side. Only went down by 1 in the end. And the quitters must have had similar results because these two teams, this matchup would have been created out of a pool. And so the quitters now on offense. Oh, another turnover. So Mish Phillips. Flo Flores. Small things. On offense, another turnover. The opportunity to go 2-0 up. Oh, that's...
Yeah, didn't want to look the reset there.
And now Chodos.
Oh.
Yep.
Sally Yu, that was just, that was first-class catch as well.
Sally Yu, top-tier receiver. And Chodos really... The throw wasn't great. It just kind of threw to the general vicinity of Yu and just kind of let her do the rest.
Yeah, and you can now understand that with a receiver like Sally Yu, just sort of throw it up there, but it was still a very good catch. I was breakfast and saw Sally, and it just reminded me how muscular she is, just one bundle of muscle. I don't know how much time at the gym she spends or what kind of training she does, but she is very fit and very strong.
It's always been a very rapid player as well, very, very quick, hard to guard. Good to see that she did have, for many, many years, patella taping on one of her knees. So it seems like she's managed to do away with the taping, which is always a good sign, a sign of strength and longevity, which is something you know something about.
Yeah.
Having been in the game for, what are we up to now, 30 years?
30 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a constant struggle, just like life itself. But, yeah, good on her. That's great to see her, without any, taping. Lado Martos with a pull here, Dan.
And Lado. And a bit of rain around, so the disc is going to get a little bit slippery. Could make things easier or harder in some respects. Nathan Payne. And Payne sees Action Jackson going. Chodos flashes past. Kaida. Yoshida getting that. Jackson throws to Brereton. And Brereton. It's that awkward height, waist height. You want it a little bit higher or a little bit lower and you lay out.
We'll just see this again and watch it sort of blade down into her hand and sort of spill out. That's a tough one. Do you go for two and then, because you're a real chance of spannering it. Latamatos long.
Swan immediately looking for Latamatos. Doesn't get the release. Latamatos just 1 or 2 steps short. Oh, and that's ground stripped. That's the big horse. Fraser Wigney. Now Latamatos in a bit of space. Chodos.
Ooh, lovely.
Into Claire Barcham. And Clancy. Oh, just reaching.
Look, that was a good throw. She got past the defender and into the open space at the back of the end zone. And great to see Chados, Zach Chados out there. He's the handler for Mondays, I believe. Although, has that been picked? I'm not sure, but he was certainly in Manila. Fraser now with the disc.
I'm not sure the selections have come through. As Fraser Wigney going to Maddie Phillips. Maddie Phillips, who had a great game earlier today. She continues in the same vein of form, red hot down the stretch.
And then she got a little bump there from Claire right at the end. Let's watch this again. Disco's sees there was a good look. It was a perfect weight on that flick. Now, catches it. There we go. And then a little good catch. Boom. I've got to say, Dan, the vibe here is excellent. We've got some of the better the best players in Australia here. And yet there's just such a sunny and fun vibe in all the games.
Well, it seemed like the tournament that Mandy Lee and her organising committee have put together is a little bit of a throwback to the old days of yore. back in times when the game was still very, very young in Australia, and it had a certain freewheeling vibe, but it seems like Mandy and her team have managed to recapture that. Is that your experience as well?
Totally. She got the inspiration from Kiama, in Hawaii, and just felt like, well, why can't we have fun tournaments like that in Australia? And then, of course, being in Kiama, it's just so beautiful. This was the perfect place for it.
And so Gongmana was born. Here's Max Howden. Payne, flashing. And now Linus Forrest. They go fast, do the quitters. They're 3-0 down in this one. Pick called. Some conversation as to whether or not it affected the play. John, what's the latest in terms of the pick rule? If it doesn't affect play on?
Yeah, exactly. And they've sorted out the players. Obviously realised she was too far away to make that call. Not actively marking a player. So, good spirit, of course. And Dan, you're so right. And look, we're seeing it reflected in the uniforms. One thing about the early days of the sport, it was anti-establishment. So, people kind of didn't want to have all the same shirts with the same numbers. So you would see all sorts of variations. Even if you had the same shirt, some would be cut off at the waist, or the sleeves would be shredded. Anything to be anti-establishment,
And I think that the last game where both teams commenced in white until I think everyone decided that's way too hard. And here now we're just playing, everyone's in an ambiguous blue. It's much like the strange cousin to the ambiguous grey, that there is always one person that brings the ambiguous grey to pick up. We've got...
And you got Cole Fink here, who was complaining about the lack of dye in his shirt.
Yeah, the ambiguous white.
Yeah, so he's gone white instead of the blue. But it is tie-dye, which is a big throwback to the old days as well.
Claire Barcham to pull for the quitters. They got a lot to do here early. They Slow out of the blocks, and Brereton's just going to go to Cole Fink, and Fink's going to have a bit to do here. Oh, Cole Fink doesn't mind it.
Good on him.
Little bit of a waggle, and Sarah Brereton put it on him.
You could just see the way that came out of her hand. It was all control. She knew that she had a sort of a smaller receiver with a bigger defender coming down. Let's see it again. Centering pass. Then boom, he had steps, but a receiver was in the vicinity. Defender gets up. That good on you, Cole. Lovely work.
Chodos just getting caught out there by Fink. Chodos expecting potentially Fink to come under, and Fink said, well, joke's on you, young man. I'm going the other way. I'll catch you on the flip side, brother.
Yep. You think with these steps that I can't make something of it? But, if kudos to Sarah there, because if that had had any kind of lift or, it was going to be tough.
Easily blocked, so wasn't overthrown, wasn't underthrown, was right on the money.
Got Hayden Irish out here on defence. He was a late call up to the team coming from Wollongong. He said he looked at the list of players and went, yes, I'm in.
Irish probably not had the opportunity to play with, that is some grossness from Letamados. Now in short range, you unstoppable.
Well, you could see there, again, this downwind offense is proving very simple for the players. But look at the grip on that one from M. Hodgson. That really ripped, and he had to release it in a hurry. And then it was a simple little pop pass for Sally Yu. That was just... now, watch this again. An absolutely filthy scuba. Watch the grip on this. He really wrenched that, but hit his receiver in stride. That was very nice, very nice. Easy goal. Yeah, who's going to break this downwind cycle now?
Yeah, it reminded me that throw a little bit of a Japanese style of playing. Rather than a big throw to space, a really low and direct throw to the receiver. And the conditions here do actually hold some similarities to Japan. A little bit humid, a little bit gusty at times. So maybe Hodgson showing some worldly experience in shot selection.
Totally. The other feature this year, great grass. Last year, a little bit patchy. Woo, what a pull there from M.
Hodgson is going to drive Mish Phillips back. And small things will have to go to work from within their own end zone. Oh, that is a drop by Maddie Phillips. A gift for the Quitters. And Hodgson picks it up. Sporting the gloves as well. Goes the hammer to Chodos on the break side. The Quitters bring it back.
Well, again, very nice. M. Hodgson is right now in his happy space. He's bossing the offense. He's just throwing the big throws. But look at the quality of this throw here. Kept the edge up and popped over the defender right into the waiting arms of Zach Chados, who couldn't believe his luck. He was actually not doing anything back there. He was just looking for some time off. And then next thing, he's receiving the goal.
You'd class that as thrower initiated?
Yeah, exactly. Certainly it wasn't receiver initiated.
But John, there's a conversation I'd love to have about the state of Ultimate. You mentioned that the game has changed. In a message to me the other night, and I got to pick your brains about it. I want to know more about what you've noticed. You've had a long and storied career, and you've witnessed a lot of different eras. You were there in the bad old days, the modern times as well.
Yeah, a lot of the... We'll get to this point. Let's watch Claire here. Yeah, give me some thinking music.
We'll turn on the elevator music as Barcham puts this pull up. That's just another pull that fades over this near sideline. Lots of players out there sporting the tank top. Barcham, one of them, freeing up the guns.
Now, Dan, I don't know if you've seen this Kota Yoshida before, but she is a special handler, this one. What a throw!
Lofton.
Oh, he's got it.
Lofton makes it up, gets to it, and now he's on the end zone. Payne in close. Here's Irish. Yoshida. Looking, and a pick call down the field.
I almost gave a commentator's curse there, didn't I? She bladed that out, but it was an exceptional catch.
Lofton engages Yoshida, and Yoshida goes up the line.
My fault, sorry. Oh.
It's come back the other way as Norton drops. Lofton picks it up and goes fast. Lofton to the end zone. He's hard to guard, is young Ollie Lofton. Speedy and squirrely.
Yeah, I believe before Ultimate, he was quite the sort of short to middle distance runner. So no surprises there. Gee, I'll put the commentator's coach there on his sheet. But what a catch. We just saw it there. Watch this again. Look at the extension from Lockie. That is just beautiful. This one here, it was a little bit tough, I'd say. She'd be disappointed, as you can see, and she didn't get it. But then Will straight away, obviously feeling sorry for her.
Present.
Give us the present back.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
Because Will Norton, not the kind of person who generally would drop one cold like that. And then just to rub insult into injury, Ollie Lofton said, well, you need to guard me as well. I'm going to the end zone. Well, great game. It's just got off to a flying start. We have the score as 5-3. They have the score as 4-4. We'll bring you more on that as to what the actual score is. But I think it's a little bit like whose line is it anyway, where it's all made up and the points don't matter.
Yep.
Martin Forrest in the bucket hat. Gets it to Halden. And now Rhys back to
Linus.
That is... He likes it.
Oh, well, yes. He'll look back on that. That was a high-release flick, inside out, getting over the stack, into the arms of his defender, upwind.
Yeah,
Let's see that again.
And Rob Swan gets himself in the end zone for a score.
All right, well, now we've got 5-4 over there.
So we're...
The score is being checked.
They'll figure it out. We'll hear from them. Now, in our current game, a lot of Australian representatives.
Yep. Yeah.
A large number of Australian representatives on both sides of the disc.
I've thought about that, because I think the good players, I haven't really asked around, but I'll find out tonight at the party, but I've got a feeling that the top players here, it's their chance to just go back to fun ultimate, Unwind. It's the end of the year. They've, a lot of these guys shoulder the opportunity to represent the country and to do a lot of hard work in ultimate and having to take it very seriously. So this is their chance to really unwind. Speaking of unwinding, Dan, look at that pull.
Yeah, it's going to come back. Hodgson has uncorked a beauty. And Jackson, a long way back. Goes the bladey throw to Brereton. Payne. Jackson's gone. Oh, and that's somewhat dangerous. Matty Phillips takes the contact. And gets it back again. Phillips. Oh, through the hands of Smythe.
The option was perfect. Yep, just a little slip, lack of concentration there.
Over tournament when there's plenty of games to be played, tournament fatigue is a big issue. And they're queuing up in the end zone as Hodgson has the hot hand at the moment.
Yeah, he is in happy space, Dan. I think actually that might have been for Wu, but either way, they were lining up, as you said. And again, Hodgson finding the perfect angle of that throw.
But it was very much outside in.
Yeah.
And the effect of throwing that outside in is what?
Yeah, well, there's to remember also, we've got to breeze slightly into the angle he was throwing. So all he had to do was get that angle pretty much with the breeze, and it was getting it over the defender, and then pick your receiver as they were lining up.
So 6-4.
Righty out
on the scoreboard.
Yeah, we'll take that. We'll take that. After a slow start, they've certainly brought it back and coming on top here.
The quid is made up of ultimate players from across the Sydney region. Some stalwarts of ultimate from the nation's biggest city.
Another lovely pull, Dan.
Yeah, this one, Jackson willing it to go dead. It doesn't.
He gave us a little stutter step if you like faking the pivot.
Jackson. Kaita Yoshida in space, and then back to Jackson. And there is so many poachers off the back. It's Swan who is the one who finds the angle on the disc as Fink was calling for it.
And our viewers are going to see the difference between M's throw and that throw we just saw there from AJ. AJ bladed a lot more. It went down too quick. And Cole, who was screaming for the disc, always a sign you maybe should look it off. Couldn't get to it at all.
Well, it certainly drew a lot of attention from the Quitters defense, as it wasn't just Rob Swan that poached off the back. I think it was Carolyn Tamas as well. Now Hodgson matched up on Nathan Payne. Hodgson.
Oh.
I'd love to hear your thoughts on that one, John Greenfield.
Well, we've seen a lot of downwind expert throws. Now M shows us the upwind. And again, as you said, with the Japanese style, he didn't leave anything to chance. He pretty much threw that straight and hard, but perfectly weighted into the end zone. That is not an easy throw. We know M's got a lot of power in that forehand grip. Let's have a look. That he had so much purchase on that, and right in the defender's hand. I must say there was a fair bit of separation there he could work with as well. But that was, we are seeing a show here from M, no doubt about it. M Hodgson.
It's up to his fifth assist, sixth
yeah.
assist.
Oh yeah.
And it's flipped around, so 7-4 to the Quitters. They're on top after the fast start by the small things.
Yeah, so we'll throw a little thing out there in change in Australian Ultimate. We've seen that change from a lot more laid back to a lot more elite focus. We'll just start with that. Let's watch this point.
Brereton catches that on the full, gets it to Flo Flores. Side stack by the small things. A wrinkle offensively. Brereton. Flo Flores goes across. Oh, Hayden Irish. He sells some candy and then throws the block as Sally Yu eats that.
Gets a bit of a shoulder charge there for her troubles. But that was very nice. Cole Fink doing some great stuff there, and Hayden Iris, yeah. Oh.
Now the quitter's in space. Chodos. Looks like losing Noel. I'll have to check the name.
Did you see the attempted foot block there from Hayden?
Yep. Oh, he's going to get himself on the stat sheet. Block for Irish.
I think Hayden was thinking there, right, I'm gonna bat this as far as I can out the side of the field. Walk, don't run to get that frisbee. Give me a chance to get my breath back. But yeah, we may at some stage get to see that very clumsy foot block attempt by Hayden.
Fink goes to work. And he's come up with a clanger. And a clanger that's punished instantly. Chodos.
I feel like I might have cursed Cole now. I'm really going hard on this commentator's curse. I think he's been playing really well, and just that one just flicking out of his hands. He kicked his hat. He's pretty frustrated.
And Grand Masters is open, so.
Yeah, and of course these tapes will get reviewed. But no, I mean, he is playing very well. He's moving well.
You'd be a bit stiff, wouldn't you, John, to not get picked for Grand Masters on the basis of Gongmana performance?
Yeah.
Come on now. That'd be very, very stiff of the selectors.
Now watch this. Hayden with a beautiful move, but goes for the early shot. Sally, you just exceptional.
And I'm not sure of Hayden's what level he's played at. He potentially hasn't faced someone like Sally Yu, who, well, let's just say that any gap you may have seen closes very, very quickly at an alarming rate. And if you're not calibrated to that speed at which, players like Sally Yu play, it can look a little bit bad where you think, oh, yeah, there's a gap there. And no, all of a sudden that door closes at a rapid rate of knots. So I think we're going to take a quick break here. We're going to have a drink of water, and we'll be back with the second half of this game from Gongmana of 2023.
Game begin. When the drum beats go. Play this.
So coming back for the second half of the first part of round 3. The Quitters, small things, 8-4. The Quitters taking half. Daniel Clinton joined by John Greenfield. What are your thoughts of the first half there, John?
Well, you know, I think the Quitters came out very slow out of the blocks. Lethargic. The small things took their small moments and they ran with it, got a lead, but I think it was the throwing acumen, I will call it, from M. Hodgson in particular, who we think got around 5 assists, all of them very accurate and powerful throws out into space, leading passes or just out and out hucks. Sally used defense, amazing. And it's brought them back, and now they are well on top here, which you would have to, looking at the rosters, I would have thought that you know, would be about what we would expect.
I think if you had to quantify small things, talent from yesteryear, the Quitters, lots of talent from 2023, a lot of current representatives. And I think that, you know, Alex Ladamatos, one of the bigger names in Australian Ultimate at the moment, hasn't really done much in the game. He hasn't had to. And, you know, if you have I think he's a Dingo's handler these days, that, you know, someone of that calibre not having to really have much impact on the game leaves you in a good spot. So Loughnan will take possession for small things. And the second half will get underway. Matty Phillips. Loughnan. Yoshida's gone, and Loughnan, he's reached down the field. He does get it to her. Nearly underthrew it. Sophie Taylor takes a moment to sum things up, and Matty Phillips again. Flo Flores in close proximity, gets the reset, preserves the offense. And now Matty Phillips again, bustling the offense.
That was nice touch. We'll see this again. And she had a narrow window to play with, but just threaded that needle. That was very nice touch. A little bit up into the breeze as well. So very nice from small things to get that upwind hold. They needed that for this game.
Loughnan underthrowing that a little bit. Didn't matter. Kairi Yoshida had enough of separation to be able to slow down, let the disc catch up. And then
watch this throw down. Threaded the needle.
And young Matty Phillips showing some chops out there. Was heavily involved in the first game that we watched and continues to be involved in the match in front of us.
Great to see Laura Minescu out there in that trademark headband. She's doing some wonderful things in her career, but here she is out here just enjoying the vibe.
And the vibe at the moment is good times. Swan gathers that. And now Forrest. Small things, bringing a wrinkle. Set the zone. March him. The zone is sagging off now. Hodgson decides to come back and get involved. Oh, and Norton went. So Hodgson's going to reach, but Nathan Payne brings the hurt.
And I'm sorry, that was another commentator's curse. I've talked him up.
So Fink combining with Brereton, and now Fink to the advantage of Brereton.
That's a goal, Dan. Tell you what, you'll see some lovely touch. That don't underestimate the difficulty of that throw from Fink there. Let's have a look. We're caught it up the play. We've got it down the sideline. Little give go. Now watch this throw here. That is not easy downwind, but just sits it up beautifully. Brereton, safe hands.
Yeah, the short range forehand, or the leading forehand at short range, is possibly one of the hardest skills, simply because of the biomechanics of the forehand throwing motion. It's hard to take speed off the disc when you're throwing flick. Fink makes it look quite easy.
Yeah, he was pretty happy with that too, and so he should be. Yeah, you'll find that often with close passes on the forehand side, sometimes you don't want to use your flick. And that's why we've seen push passes come in and now lefties, all right, because you want to take. It's too hard to just jam a flick into someone at close range like that. Yeah,
we were talking about the push pass, and your name was mentioned in that conversation. I mentioned that you were quite the aficionado of the push pass, and much for that reason. I kind of went to the left-handed backhand in my own career because I couldn't quite use it with quite the level of execution that you could manage. So I decided to put that in the bag and bring something else.
Let's go to the Mutual Appreciation Society because I started my lefty thanks to watching your lefty.
I remember still the conversations. That's not a good idea. Anyway, what's a good idea is throw the disc to Alex Latamatos. And Latamatos, they've sagged off completely. So Sally Yu comes in, gets things going again. A really, really soft zone by small things. It's very, very Canberran.
Yes, it is, isn't it?
It's very reminiscent of a certain Fishwick United who were somewhat maligned for their zero mark zone. Forced a lot of throws. And now Max Howden is involved, and that's not a good sign. When you're playing zone defense, Max Howden possibly the best zone breaker in the country. Now Latamatos. No pressure on the mark. Resetting the stall count at will. There's Alex Swan popping up.
And Latamatos in his element here too. I mean, it's just so easy for these guys. Yeah, look, I understand. You got to bring out something. You got to change it up. It was always going to be hard downwind with such great skill on display there. As you say, you had. I mean, Howden, he popped up for the goal at the end, but really, it could have been any one of these players. They didn't really need him out there.
So in order to reach for some sort of wrinkle, that zone hasn't worked. What do you bring this time? Yeah,
well, so what the Canberrans love is the saggy zone that was sort of originated by the Japanese. Which is pretty much, we don't care if you throw it backwards, all right? Yeah, go for it. We're going to make it hard for you to get forward progress. And I thought it was actually as successful as you could possibly make it. But, yeah, they are going to have to change it up and go for something more aggressive, So they will have to put more people up the front and then just try to goad them into mistake going over the top.
Well, we'll come back to that in a moment because small things will go on to offense. And the Quitters, their chance to play D. Kaida combining with Andrew Jackson. Phillips Oh, Maddie Phillips is a problem at the moment for the Quitters. They can't stop her.
Now, I'm going to give 10% of that goal to Cole Fink for yelling out so absurdly in the end zone that it caused a few defenders to turn around and see what the hell was going on. And then just an open pass. So, well done. You know, they needed to bank that in. 9-7 now to the Quitters. So,
trading away, you know, points being shared, the time ticking on. In terms of deciding when the key moments are in a game, is there something that you kind of look for as a sign that it's go time?
I usually know it's a sign after we've lost the point. You go, damn, that was an important point. And you just suddenly realise the importance of it. But no, I mean, I am actually feeling it right now. I'm feeling like this point here is the opportunity, and for the very reasons you just spoke about. The game's moving on. It's 9-7. They haven't been able to stop this downwind offense, but if they just let's see. I mean, very interested to see what they come up with here. They're spending a fair time talking about this, so we'll see what kind of D they come down with here.
And it's Maddie Phillips, the pull. Have gassed her up. Rips her a nice pull that will put the Quitters on offense. And they are going to run some sort of poachy zone. That one picks its way between two. Swan. Minescu. Back to Rob Swan. Now Sally Yu. Epstein. Oh, and on the fat side, Jackson comes, but Latamatos strong in the air.
Well, AJ there, I don't mind that. He was trying to bite in and, cause a little bit of havoc in the centre there. But, that was a lovely throw from Helen Epstein there. Let's have a look at it again. There he is calling for it. And
that's a 40-yard throw.
It is.
Cross-field.
Cross-field, perfectly placed so that AJ couldn't get in there. Let's have a look again. And she really steps out nicely on it, gets low on it. Look at this. Now, AJ realises he's in trouble, races over. It was actually a very good jump from Latamatos too, but that was very nice. Well, we talked about it, Dan. They came out with a bit of I don't know if it was a fem zone. There was something, poachy about it. And I didn't mind that. And caused them a couple of headaches. They had to obviously swing it across the field to get the goal. But 10-7 now. And now they're faced with, we've just got to score this and have another crack.
And for the viewers at home, fem zone is, of course, when the women play zone and the men play men.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. And actually, you normally go with it if you're sensing that the mixed team that you're playing is going through their guys too much. You go, right, well, if you're going to not use your women, we're going to get them in the road of your offense and try and make you play through them.
Loughnan gathers that. That's a big old pull. Goes a fair way back in the end zone. So Loughnan will combine with Jackson. And Jackson, his up the line cut, clears the space for Flo Flores. Loughnan bossing things. Jackson cutting across the face of the offense. Hammer to Payne.
Good catch.
Smythe bobbles it, but gathers. His heart in his mouth for a moment. Terrible feeling, that one.
Yeah.
And now Brereton just resetting the stall with Jackson. Oh, Jackson with the in and away.
Very nice move.
Working on the break side. Crafty. Oh, and then somewhat ill-advised.
Oh, AJ.
The 15-yard push pass. It's all gone down in the heap. And then Hodgson to Chodos. The 50-yard hammer back the other way worked about as well as the 15-yard push pass.
And ever since I've talked to him up at halftime, He's come up with a couple of clangers.
It's really been a story of two halves for M. Hodgson. Red hot in the first half, ice cold in the second. Lofton. Jackson goes with a large cut, and still Payne is going to reach for action. Jackson. Well, Howden had switched off. He covered the first cut and thought, all right, job's done. Nathan Payne has just said, well, young man, you're going to need to keep playing defence. I got that throw.
I want to see that again. That was quite amusing. AJ was screaming for it. I actually thought he was trying to drag some defenders with him. Oh, here's the hammer. And it was a blade. He did the right thing. It was too good. It went past Chados. I mean...
Overthrown.
I mean, into the wind hammer. Now, here we go. AJ, yes, you're right. Max did really just switch off. Oh, he's not going to throw that. Claire Bircham was more awake to it, but still couldn't get there. It was actually a very nice throw. I thought he'd overshot it.
I've not seen this this young Nathan Payne, but he's a bit of a unit. Can throw, and he took an blazing layout grab in the first game.
It was almost a two-pointer for a rugby league goal, that one.
Yeah, under the sticks, under the black dot. So they say in rugby union. Spent some time commentating that sport this year, John. It was quite the departure from Ultimate, I'll tell you.
Yeah, and but if you could sum up, I'd actually like to, hear what are the big differences? Or
I'd actually go to a similarity, between Ultimate and Union, and that spirit. They obviously don't call it that, but there was a real sense of camaraderie in Union, a real mutual respect, and I was reminded of Ultimate in seeing how they kind of treat each other, and that was lovely because that's a hard sport played by hard men. Oh, that throw is just caught somehow. Epstein, dangerous area, deep in the red zone, is going to test it. Well, okay.
M's back. And poor old Sally Yu.
She's cleaning things up at the moment.
Seemingly, that disc from M actually almost cut her in half, and she wore it on her body. Let's have a look. Bang! Almost goes down, doubled up in pain. And then forced to lay out for this. Yeah, she was done. She's going to take a sub, no doubt. No, she's back out there.
Well, the in and away move, very dangerous. Because it naturally places the defender on the inside shoulder, which then becomes the outside shoulder. So hard to make a play. Sophie Taylor was the defender closest there. Now 11-8.
Yeah, it's... Well, they've got to punch this downwinder. That's first and foremost. It's good to see M. The thing about M is he won't die wondering, and he's got the goldfish memory on his long throws. He might have missed a couple, but that's gone. That's gone from the memory.
Move on. Execute on the next.
Execute on the next one, and that was that's what broke up that defensive stand there.
So here's Claire Bartram. They call her Clancy. Great pull. Sits. Gives Latamatos time to get down there. Stop that first pass.
Ooh.
Oh, Chodos flashing on the pass to Fraser Wigney. And Maddie Phillips to Mish Phillips.
Very nice.
At the moment, Maddie Phillips cannot be stopped.
Very nice, Dan. Yeah, that was just a straightforward offense, and this shows you how hard it is with the level of throwers here to really get your bite on. As a defense, you want to just feel that bite, see some high stall counts, some tough resets, force them to reset even. And we're seeing not a lot of that on these downwind points. They are working it pretty easily, and it's just very hard to stop.
The temperature has increased out there at the moment. I mean, the weather app's telling me it's 22. It feels like 26 or 27. Mandy Lee is sending me text messages trying to feed me more food. It's been a great tournament organised by Mandy Lee and the organising committee, and the tournament as well. Sponsored by Red Bull here this weekend.
Yeah.
Giving us wings.
Oh, and Mandy Lee, I just played with Wollongong at Div 1 Mixed Nats. She was the organiser extraordinaire in that team as well. You know, she's a gem. She's a gem. She really is.
Mish Phillips pulling another good one. This time giving Cole Fink time to run down, stop the first pass. And another weird zone thing. It's going to force the quitters to put the disc through hands. Make ground incrementally rather than in big throws. Oh, now this is going to blade. Swan under pressure from Payne.
Yeah. There was just enough air there to make that very difficult. I don't think he got a touch, but he did enough to make that a very difficult catch.
So Mish Phillips, who at this stage is just kind of doing side quests in the ultimate Frisbee community. I hear she went and won new Japan Nationals to go with her Colombian Nationals title.
Yeah.
She's doing side quests. Phillips, slight power position, doesn't like what she's seeing. Ooh, a hot one for Sophie Taylor.
Dan, that's tough. That was their chance. Upwind. Can they get it back again?
Rob Swan goes with a...
Oh,
it's been helped.
oh, Dan.
Rob Swan has bought a vowel and come up with a lottery-winning throw. Cole Fink can't believe it. He said, "You can't be serious."
Well, are we giving the system a shell there? And, you know, I mean, let's watch this again, Dan. Rob Swan. It was a terrible option, let's face it. Yeah.
And Mish Phillips has macked that perfectly to Alex Swan.
Yeah, here we go again. I mean, Rob here just getting a little bit cocky here. It didn't come out right, but it ended up working.
Well, sometimes you just can't. You can't teach it. You can only.
Well, you know, as I said, been said many times on ulti.TV through the years, catch your Ds.
Yes, yeah, it's catch cry. The amount of times we see a disc get mac, pop up, you know, do something weird, bounce in the breeze. It's one of the interesting things about our sport that we play with the discs, and it's aerodynamic, and it does things as a result to the atmospheric conditions. So we can have weird stuff like that happen regularly.
That's sailing out. And look, I agree with you totally, Dan, but it's also one of the beautiful things of the sport is that once that disc is up, if you're committed and you've got a bit of mongrel in you can chase it down.
There's great opportunity to compete, I think.
Exactly. And I think that is one of the really cool things about the sport. Having played 14 years of league, it's one of those little things that actually is a bit, to me, is similar. There's a similarity there.
Oh, Hayden Irish has spotted something that he likes. Oh, and just going to Mish Phillips. Looks like she got collected a little bit by Inez Ruiz. Yeah, it looks like Ruiz is not going to contest it if there is a call, but...
Now,
it's a flat tyre. It's a flat tyre.
Let's have a look. Yep, the flat tyre, folks. The shoe came off. It was a...
Looks like there will be a foul, so Phillips will tap it in and go back to the front of the end zone. The in the way. Phillips throws it to Cole.
The honey pass.
May as well. He was wide open.
I mean, I noticed he had to say Mish 3 times before she looked, which is pretty typical for most married couples.
Well, given my recent engagement, I'm not going to get my dog in that fight. I'm going to leave that well alone. And so now 12-10.
Yeah, no, they've kept it close. They've kept it close. Linus closing there. He gallantly didn't go for a bid that would have destroyed Cole.
And given that a loss isn't, doesn't have that big of an effect if it's close, John, what's that like playing in those conditions where a loss almost, it doesn't really matter that much? What's that like?
Yeah. Well, look, obviously there's that little bit more motivation to just, play strong on each point. Because of the relaxed vibe here, it kind of evens out. I don't think these players, they'll certainly be wanting to win, but, because that's just inbuilt. And, they'll be talking it up. Every point counts. But, I think there's a levelling out here of just the chilled vibe that's present here.
Nice pull by Jackson. Norton gathers it to Swan. And then Latamatos sets off. Swan is going to put it on a spot, and Latamatos is going to have to do a lot. Well, it looked Rob Swan has gotten every piece of that. He sent it a long way.
We might come in here, I think. Let's...
No.
Yeah, well, no, there's an angle there. If we go back.
I'm going to say no, John. Latamatos looks like his back foot was in the air as he caught it. No, he's in.
Oh.
We count that as in. I can admit when I'm wrong.
I think you're right. We're going to see this again. He kind of managed to leave his foot on the ground as he was catching it. So let's see this again. Going up, catching. Yeah, I think that's a goal.
Yep.
Very nicely done. Good balance.
Look, Alex Latamatos is not a tall man. I didn't think he had the length in the legs, but he's done very, very, very well. That is just outstanding body control, outstanding awareness.
And again, denies small things an opportunity. Another one banged in, making their task that much harder. And they really didn't get a chance to put any teeth into that defence. Once again, they're not being able to get into the teeth of the defence and cause any concerns here for...
Yeah, well, offensively, it looked like the Quitters had placed Latamatos in a little bit of an isolated space, and Latamatos, two-way threat, obviously known for his throwing ability, no stranger to the end zone either. He took off.
Yeah. All right. Oh. Fantastic.
The text message from the fiancé.
Yes. Very good news. All right. Claire Burchin. Clancy gets us underway.
Flo Flores, great catch out in front. Fingertip stuff. Wigney, to Payne.
Now, Fraser, I think he might have been a bit of a travel there. He took a bit of a run up the field. Let's have a look. Yeah, there's a couple of steps up the field there. But he couldn't cash in on that power position.
Well, he just need a little bit more air, I think, in the throw. Payne goes and gets it. So now, Latamatos gauging the wind.
See here, I would just go straight up here. Let him try and throw in the stack, but you're giving him a backhand. Oh! Hey!
And Latamatos is going to think about it.
Oh,
yeah, we'll come back on a foul.
Wow, okay, we'll see this again. It managed to hit the tent. Sorry, Lado, mic'd up, can't help you.
He just, and Lofton he was all over the throw.
Again, though, I'd love to see him just go straight up here. No, he's done. Okay, he's done well there. He's done well there. Beautiful. Look at that scuba swing.
Epstein, middle of the field. There's a chance to take a choice of the options. Alex Swan, Hodgson. Bartram's gone. And Bartram, she'll have to do a bit to track that down as Hodgson's throw. Too far down the field.
And he's already forgotten about it. And if it lines up again, he'll do it. I hope that he would put, just to make it a little bit flatter on the next throw.
Oh, Swan, heavy pressure, is going to have a foul called on him. Payne just, I think the call there is just contact on the arms as Payne was trying to catch it.
Let's have a look again. Well, they look like a bit of contact. Yeah, he's not contested there.
Taylor. Taylor goes the loopy pass that Latamatos is going to catch instead of Loughnan. Latamatos looking for a reset. Bartram. Back to Latamatos, and Swan provides the undercut. Wigney doing a good job on Hodgson down the stretch. Bartram engages Latamatos.
Nice little move there from Lato.
Oh, Latamatos has hurt himself.
Ooh,
He looks stiff.
Now, I hope that's not a... If that's a muscle strain, he'll be out for the rest of the tournament. We'll have to wait and see on that.
So Jackson will sub in for Nathan Payne, as is the option for the defence. Well, for either team, really. Oh, and that disc is turfed. Swan. Now Loughnan is going to put it up to Andrew Action Jackson, who puts himself in a great position, and Alex Swan can't make the play.
AJ, once again, it was the double shuffle, wasn't it? You know, called for it. He didn't get it first time, but then the thrower launched anyway. Yeah, did an out and away. And kudos to the defender there. Didn't try to boss him, because that could have been ugly.
Alex Swan just kind of knew that he's in a bit of a nothing position. Just the angle of the throw, the direction of the cart, he just kind of ended up behind Jackson, who had also shaded in that direction to put his body between the drop zone and where Alex Swan was trying to attack the disc from. Fair play.
Yeah, I think Ollie's put that exactly where, to the advantage of his receiver there. Right, well, that's a break. Was it not? We are now 13-11. 13-11.
Still time on the clock. This game's been played at a rapid pace. 24 points in under 70 minutes. That's a rapid old clip. And both these teams are very, very capable on offense. It's been a game of few turnovers. Swan.
Another zone, Dan.
A wrinkle trying to upset the momentum. And Swan outside in looking towards you. It's Hodgson who'll take it.
Well, that was just better read by the quitters. The quitter players there read that, and unfortunately the deep defenders got a little bit lost.
Looked like Rob Swan just identifying a space on the field and then putting the disc there.
Yeah, I suspect it was for Sally. But Emmett already had read that very early. He took off straight to the space. Let's have a look here. Yeah, I mean, that was a good throw. Yeah, they just didn't have the coverage there to the defenders.
So that takes us to 14-11 and a game to 15. Small things with a large amount of things to achieve. 4 points in a row. Not undoable.
M's back for more. As is Rob Swamp. Look at the throwers on this line on defense. You know, these are mostly offensive players. You've got Clancy there as an excellent receiver. Here we go.
Okay, the
roller.
The roller. Always a good option to set up the zone.
You know, you'd have to say perhaps didn't even need to do that. Took a little time off the clock, let him set up, but why not?
Jackson will bring this in. Fink goes, but Barcham's poached across. Barcham goes big. Does enough, I think. Fink under.
Do you think Cole had
He had it,
his
but
hand there?
sometimes pressure does enough. And the phantom block is going to go the way of Barcham. And the Quitters with a chance to win the game in their own right. Score 14-11. Oh, and that's going to be contentious. It looked like Fraser Wigney.
He ripped it out just to show, yep, I'm sure that was mine. Great play from Karatamas, and great to see out there after breaking her. She broke her wrist there, or fingers there at Beach Nationals earlier in the year.
Wigney showing that chivalry's dead and buried. But I did think he had it first, and it'll stay that way as Wigney just goes to Loughnan. Loughnan in front of Rob Swan. Good mates, sharing a laugh. Ellipsis teammates, very familiar with each other and each other's game. And
he picked his pocket, didn't he, Ollie?
Little bit.
He just picked his pocket. Well,
14-12. The equation stays the same.
It does. That was a hold for small things. But they hang on for one more point here.
Time cap has been called, which means that we just keep going.
Yep, game to 15. Ooh, we just saw
maybe
the
that's
replay.
closer than what I originally thought.
Mm.
I backed the big horse.
Now we'll watch the pitch pocket here. Let's have a look. Yeah, I think Rob had a...
Rob certainly had right of way.
Yeah.
And Ollie Loughnan's jumped in front of him and cut him off. I think it comes out to play another point. Jackson, disc in hand, ready to pull.
This is it. Last stand. If they can't get a break here, it's game over.
Forrest combines with the bucket hat bro. And Chodos and Hodgson is just going to reach to Ruiz, and that's a catch.
What a catch. What a way to finish. M. Hodgson, who was probably had the most influence on this game, you know,
in both directions.
In both directions. I'd want to see this again because this was a really nice take from Nez. Again, a lovely look there from M. Hodgson, and one-handed just inside the back of the end zone.
Yeah, hard to stop that. So that's the end of the game. John Greenfield, thank you very much for joining us. It's been an honour. I love sharing the microphone with you.
Dan,
and your final thoughts for the game?
Yeah, very clean, great chilled vibe between the teams, but we saw some lovely ultimates. So what's not to love about that?
Indeed. So we'll leave it on that note. Gongmana 2023. We've got one more game to come, so don't go anywhere. That game will start in 15 minutes or so, give or take 10, depending on where the players are, because we can't start without them. On behalf of ulti.TV, my name is Daniel Clinton, and we'll see you again soon.
Right now, he's going to have to bid. Just a football.
Huge layout block. Unbelievable stuff on the front corner of the end zone.
Maybe just that boost of energy they needed.
Huge swing pass, and